Namaste. I just want to go over a few modifications or options that you can take in the sun salutations. If you're really just starting with the yoga practice, some of the just basic movements may be unfamiliar to your body. So it's just something that comes with practice over time. And while you're getting used to it and also getting used to this idea of linking breath and movement, you might want to take a bit more of a gentle variation of some of the postures. So I'm going to do a sun salutation A with a few different things that you can keep in mind as a modification. So from the top of the mat, coming to Samasthiti, and then you can inhale and lift your arms up with your palms facing each other and your hands shoulder distance apart. So you're just looking straight forward. So this is instead of looking up with your hands together. It's a little gentler on the shoulders. It's just a little less exerting. So now from here, you're going to exhale and you can extend your arms out to the side, or you can also hold your waist if you feel like you have some kind of weakness in the low back. And then really bending through the knees. So you can even have the feet about hips distance apart as you're just starting out. And then folding for this next movement, kind of with your chin tucked here. And then as you inhale for Trini, lift halfway up. You can have your hands at your shins. And then bringing your hands to the floor, exhale, stepping back, and then coming down to the knees. And then with your knees down, you can exhale and lower all the way down instead of halfway. And then you can inhale, just lift up into Cobra. So with the tops of the feet to the floor, just lifting part way up. And then you can press up to hands and knees and either come into downward dog, or you can also take child's pose here instead of downward dog. And then you breathe here for 5 breaths. And then after the 5 breaths, you come back up. And then coming up into downward dog just for a moment so that you can walk the feet forward towards the hands. And then exhaling to fold with your knees bent, maybe your feet are hips distance. And then rolling yourself back up to standing. Lift your arms, look forward, hands shoulder distance apart, and then you can exhale. So I'll do that one more time without talking as much. And this is kind of modified version for sun salutation A. Inhale with your arms up, look forward, palms face each other, and bend your knees, your feet are hips distance apart. And exhale, fold belly to thighs. And then inhale, lift halfway up with your hands at your shins. And then bring your hands down. Step back, lower your knees, lower all the way down. And then inhale, just lift the chest. And then pressing to all fours. Send your hips back, come to child's pose. And breathing for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now come to all fours, tuck your toes under, come to downward dog, and then walk or step the feet forward towards the hands, feet hips distance. So here you can have your hands to your shins, head up for the halfway, and then exhaling to fold all the way, belly to thighs. And then inhale, slowly roll up, lift your arms, palms face each other, look forward. And then you can exhale, release. So that's a bit of a gentler variation of Sun A. So now for Sun B, we start in Utkatasana. So here, it definitely is much easier if you have your feet hips distance apart. So now finding your weight centered more back towards the heels. And then bend your knees, sit back. And then inhale, lift your arms up, palms face each other, look forward. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. And then exhale, fold, keep your knees bent, belly to thighs. Similar to A position, A salutation, then inhale halfway. And then bring your hands down. Exhale, come back. Come down to the knees, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, come to downward facing dog here. And now for warrior 1, what you can do is you may want to take a few steps to just get that right foot forward. So just take a few steps And then maybe the back heel stays lifted to start instead of keeping it dropped down. So leave the back heel up, so you're more in a lunge position. And then you can ease your way up. Inhale, arms up. Palms face each other, look forward. Is a gentler variation. And then exhale, coming all the way back down, hands to the floor. And then you can take a few steps to get that right leg back. Exhale, lower knees, lower all the way. Inhale, lift the chest. And then coming to hands and knees, tuck your toes, downward dog. And then we do the other side. So stepping the left foot forward as many steps as it takes. Exhale, keep the back heel lifted up. And then you can use your inhale, maybe come halfway, take an exhale. Inhale, lift your arms, look forward. And then exhale, come down. So you can always take an extra breath if you feel tired. Just stay connected and in control of your breathing. And slide the foot back. And you can come right into downward dog if you don't want to do the lowering and upward facing dog. There's a lot of different kind of variations that you can do. So don't feel bad if you have to skip over a part or take a modification, because you're just building on the practice, one thing after another. So you can also take child's pose here, especially if you're feeling tired in Sun B. Really helps to take child's pose instead of downward dog for the 5 breaths. And then coming up, hands and knees first, then tuck your toes, downward dog, and then walking your feet forward as you inhale and half lift. And then folding forward with your knees bent. And keep your knees bent, and then you're going to come up into the Utkatasana. Look forward, hands face each other, and then exhale, Samastiti. Okay, I'll do that one more time. So feet hips distance apart. And now bend your knees. Inhale, arms up, look forward, draw your shoulder blades down. Exhale, folding belly to thighs. Inhale, flat back, head up. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back. Lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, back to downward dog. And then the right leg first. So inhale, step the leg forward. Take an exhale. This is an extra breath. And then you want to use that inhale to come all the way up. The inhale lifts you away from the earth. And then exhale, come back down towards the earth. And slide your right foot back and lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk the left foot forward. Exhale for a pause. And then inhale, so you can come all the way up. Look forward, palms face each other. Exhale, bring your hands back down. Slide the left foot back. Lower all the way to your belly. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, making your way back into child's pose. So child's pose is the alternative for downward dog. Cobra is the alternative for upward dog. Those are different options you can choose. And they're all equally as good. It's really just about moving your body with your breath in sync. Okay, and then coming to all fours, tuck your toes, lift up, downward dog. And then look forward, inhale, walk the feet forward. Bend your knees, belly to thighs. Folding. And then sit back, Utkatasana. One more time, inhale. And then exhale, release, and you're in Samastitihi. So those are just some options. And it is quite challenging to focus on these postures that may not be familiar at all to your body, while also focusing on the breath. So you can take one day and set the intention of really focusing on the 3 count of inhalation and the 3 count of exhalation, and not really pushing yourself so much with the posture. And then another day, you can maybe try to focus on the breath, but not as your primary kind of focus for that day. But just making sure that you have your intention set for what you're going to be doing with your practice. So if you're going to be working with more of the breath one day, or if you're going to be working more with challenging yourself with the more full expressions of the postures, just make that choice rather than being in the moment and not knowing what you're going to do, because that's not going to serve you. It's always good to have that kind of plan in mind. And I look forward to practicing with you again. Thank you for